ultimately, the work that I do is about changing the way you think forever. You know, it's a bold goal, but once you start thinking inclusively, it's very difficult to go back. It's very difficult not to see the cracks. It's very difficult not to think in this way. So it's about finding that connection, and it's different for all of us, to light that fire within you that makes you feel the passion and the purpose to make a difference, that makes you want to be a part of this journey. So just to give you a bit of sort of background in terms of stats, there are more FTSE 100 CEOs called David than women or ethnic minorities. So not just men, but men of one name, more of them than women or ethnic minorities. 19.3% of FTSE 100 executives are women. So, you know, that's an easy stat to digest, because we know that, you know, more or less half of the population are women. So there's clearly a lack of balance there. And if we dive into the creative and media industry, which is what we're talking about today, I'll just have to keep moving you around the screen. So there's been a decline in BAME employees in the past year, and that term itself is problematic, and we won't go into that today, but that in itself, the language that we use, the way that we sort of group a whole bunch of people that are all intrinsically different from each other into one category in itself is problematic. So there's been a decline in terms of the number of essentially non-white people in all of these different areas. Women in the media industry are losing out to men in pay, in earnings, in occupying more senior roles, and in receiving bigger bonuses, according to the government gender pay reporting service. And then you get headlines like this, which are things like around the culture of fear and cliqueiness in the UK newsrooms must end to move diversity conversation forward. So there are a number of challenges. So in terms of the opportunity, if we move on from challenges to opportunities, according to McKinsey, there's a 28 trillion opportunity in terms of the amount the world could increase global GDP by. McKinsey also had some stats around chances of financial returns: 15% for gender diversity, 35% for ethnic diversity. You're twice as likely to double employees' sense of inclusion if you have a leadership commitment to inclusion. So that's twice as likely. I mean, that's phenomenal. And if you have high engagements from your staff, you increase your profitability and your productivity. So, you know, we're talking about a massive opportunity. So just to give you another example from the creatives industry. So this is a quote from James Hillhouse, who's the founder or the co-founder and CEO of Commercial Break. And he said, the ad industry is staffed by the same sort of people wherever you go. It's also running out of genuinely new, interesting ideas. It doesn't take a genius to figure out one's related to the other. This isn't about quotas and doing the right thing. It's about giving fresh talent the chance to turn the industry on its head. And I think this kind of relates to some of the things that you were saying. So this is a letter that James wrote. If I can move you out of the way, I'll read it to you. So this was an open letter to the ad industry from Commercial Break. The Black Lives Matter movement has created a tidal wave of reaction from all corners of society. Our mission is very specifically to create opportunities in the industry for young people from working class background. We have spent years having to kick down doors to do that. And now those doors are opening of their own accord, but we are saying no. So my question to you is, why are they saying no? They've spent years working to get young people in to have opportunities within organizations in the advertising sector, and now they're saying no. Those organizations are coming to them, but they're saying, actually, do you know what? No. Why is that? So what was happening was the individuals that they were placing in organizations were having a terrible experience. They were going in, but the organization wasn't set up to support them. It didn't recognize that they might have unique needs. They still felt like their voices weren't heard. They were still, and many of them were leaving. So what Commercial Break are now doing is they're helping organizations become inclusive. They're helping organizations build the right culture so that they are then ready to take in a more diverse set of people. So I think there's a really important message there.